In the heart of the bustling city, Oliver Stanfield was known for being the quintessential workaholic. As a high-powered executive in a prestigious firm, his life revolved around board meetings, endless emails, and late-night conferences. He thrived on his reputation for dedication, often leaving the office long after everyone else had gone home. To him, success was synonymous with the tireless pursuit of professional ambition. One fateful evening, as Oliver worked tirelessly on a critical project, a sudden power outage plunged the entire building into darkness. Panicked, he attempted to salvage his progress but realized that without electricity, his work was at a standstill. He reluctantly packed up and headed home, his mind racing with concern over the unfinished tasks. The next morning, the absence of power meant no alarms, no coffee maker, and no morning news updates. Oliver was abruptly awakened by the sunlight streaming through the window. It was the first time in years that he had woken naturally, without the jarring sound of an alarm clock. Initially disoriented, he felt a curious mix of panic and freedom at this unplanned disruption. With no option for his usual morning routine, he found himself stepping outside for a walk. The city was a different place at this early hour, tranquil, almost serene. As he strolled through the streets, he noticed details he'd never had time to appreciate before. The play of sunlight on the buildings, the laughter of children on their way to school, the aroma of fresh pastries from a nearby bakery. Unexpectedly, he bumped into an old friend, someone he had lost touch with due to his relentless work schedule. They exchanged stories, reminiscing about the past, and laughed over forgotten memories. It was a moment of connection that had been absent from Oliver's life for far too long. Without the constant hum of technology and work obligations, he discovered the simple joys he'd neglected. A hearty breakfast at a local diner, conversations with strangers, the pleasure of reading a book without distractions. Days turned into weeks without power, and in this unexpected hiatus, Oliver began to reassess his priorities. He started to allocate time for hobbies he'd long abandoned, rediscovered the joy of spending time with family, and connected with colleagues on a personal level rather than through conference calls and emails. Eventually, power was restored and work resumed, but Oliver was transformed. He established a new routine that integrated the lessons he'd learned during the outage. He worked efficiently but not obsessively, setting aside time for personal relationships, hobbies, and self-care. Colleagues noticed the change, a more balanced, contented Oliver who was still successful but no longer defined solely by his job. He became an advocate for a healthier work-life balance, encouraging others to embrace the richness of life beyond the confines of their professional ambitions. The power outage, initially a disruption, turned out to be the wake-up call that Oliver desperately needed. It reshaped his perspective on success, leading him to a life that was not just about climbing the corporate ladder, but finding fulfillment in every aspect of his existence.